Ready to turn your spiritual path into a game? Join me as I share my favorite tarot decks, crystals, and a brand new way to play with your intuition. Let's dive in. Well, we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you something a little more fun today. Just scrolling around and I don't know, something just came on my newsfeed from Intuitive Whispers, so I checked it out. Apparently, I think it's Amy Briggs. She's a psychic medium of the channel, and her approach that I caught this one time just recently was on the Midway Catch Up 2026. I had never seen such a thing, and why not? It is so much fun. So I have to join in. I told her I would. And anyway, Amy, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm loving it. So I'm going to put her information in the description. So please check her out. She's got many others who are also playing along, and why not? This is perfect for Soul Life Treasure Hunt to be part of anything that makes a game out of the so-called seriousness of what we're doing in this lifetime as souls on our paths. Here we are. So she had a number of prompts, about 15 prompts that she wanted us to go through. So I'm going to do that with you right now. The first prompt was, what has been your go-to deck in 2026? That one is going to be really easy for me. That would be the Millennium Toth deck. And I just am loving the way this deck is done. It has so many cool perspectives on tarot, and it's been the Toth tarot concept that has just taken my mind. This system has been such an eye-opener for me. So I thought I'd bring you along and we'll play together. But Millennium Toth, if you go back through my previous videos, you'll see plenty of opportunities to see more of these cards in action. And while I like and love Rider-Waite Smith decks, and they were all I knew prior to this one. I knew there were some other ones out there, but I just had not been really focused on those. Actually, just prior to this one, I was putting together a whole book on just the symbologies and things that come to mind. I've got various ones. Anyway, I've got the Rider-Waite, and I got another one that I've made up that has Toth Tarot decks, and how those cards are symbolizing so many things that will help to trigger our intuitive nature, which is a connection to spirit, the divine. And as we look at these decks, this one just happens to be the one that connects to me. There are many other Toth styles, but this one does it for me. So the most recent deck that I acquired, I use this a lot of times in my membership, and that's Tarot of Dreams. It is a Ciro Machetes tarot book, and it has the 4 palaces in there. Kind of a beautiful card deck, and I really love the artwork that Ciro does. I've got a couple of these gilded tarot decks of his that also are part of it. And what's interesting is a lot of times the artwork is very similar, sometimes the same to my eye, and many times it's just another take for the same type of thing. But it's those guidebooks that can be so helpful to me as I've gotten more and more experience in trying to do things with these cards. And it's interesting how certain cards will still carry over into my vision, even though I'm looking at another deck. Sometimes those messages will come in and they'll interlace and they'll help me to expand and expound on what the meaning might be for the people I'm reading for, and for myself, because I do a lot of readings for myself as well with my Soul Life Treasure Hunt. So here we go. If you could have any deck, indie or mass market, what would it be? Well, she's got something here called OOP. What would it be? OOP. I don't know what that means. Oh well. Anyway, I know that a number of tarot readers like to get things off of Etsy's or other platforms where they're not mass market at all, and that's just an area I haven't really played in too much, but there's some beautiful artists out there doing great work and people are finding them. So maybe someday they'll come across my radar and I'll do that too. But for the moment, I'm mostly dealing in mass market type things. I do have a few that you can't find them really. They're just not available. You had to really know who to go to, which makes it interesting, right? Okay. The one that I would say, I don't know why I keep coming back to this one. It keeps coming off my mind as I should check that out. And every time I check it out, I kind of back off. It's like, I don't know if this is a good time for it, or I was all excited about it and then I heard some really bad reviews of it. And so I backed off and didn't want to get involved right then, but it keeps coming back. So I'm thinking this one's going to eventually be added to my collection, but it is The Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. And I was looking at it just the other day and I realized it's got a lot of chakra work in it. So that would be kind of fun. I have other tarot decks that talk about chakras and various other ideas, so it wouldn't go amiss here. It's just sometimes a girl's gotta know how many tarot decks do you need. So I'm kind of in that boat of I don't know what I really need as far as a tarot deck. Show us your favorite crystal. Oh, that was so hard. I have so many crystals. I mean, I love crystals. Crystals were one of my first loves altogether. What I do like to do is I will make combinations of various stones that are emblematic of a certain type of category, a certain usage of what I need. So this one would have some rose quartz and some other quartz and some jaspers and petrified woods and different other great. A lot of times I forget what the names are anymore, but they all kind of have an energetic combination that when I hold them, I can feel the energies and I can feel so loved and served by these. And I have other bags, so different colors, and they would be related to the chakras and what all, but there are other different kinds of energies. This one's a little more astral in its layout, so I use this when I really want to do some lunar work and those types of things. So it kind of keeps me grounded but also gets me elevated, and I love all that. Then how many YouTube videos have you created in 2026? I have counted with this one 22 public, and I have another 22 that are expanded readings that I do for my membership. So those who are part of my membership can go over there and they can get more information on the readings that I have presented on the public platform on YouTube. And then I add more, we talk more in depth, and it's a lot of fun. So that's, I'm going to say 44. In all, I have about 94 public videos so far that I have done over the years. There's a number of them that I have taken down, and so there's no telling how many that would be. But I have been doing this for a few years, and I took a year off because life was getting a little rough, and I was struggling to figure out how to do all the things that we all need to do when others in our lives have needs, and we're supposed to take responsibility for things, and I couldn't do it anymore for a while, so I took some time off. It's been hard to get back in the algorithm, I must say, but I feel like I'm doing better than I did back in the day, just trying to get those views up. So I just consider this great practice, and one day we'll see what happens. If it really ministers to other people and helps them to see their own lives more clearly, then my job is done here. I'm thinking it's a good thing to be able to share who and what we are. The favorite jewelry that you wear, I have so many wonderful things that I wear, my crystals and my sapphires and my jaspers and metals, and it's just really hard to say, but I find that I will wear things that are usually meaningful, usually a gift from my husband or my kids, or something that has the color I want to really present in that particular video, because color is also important, as well as just the minerals of gemstones and all. So I've got some gorgeous ones. We'll talk about that in the expanded version if you want to go over there, and we'll look at that together. A special item that's on my tarot reading desk or space, and that would be, it's hard to really choose, but one of the things I really love is elephants, particularly baby elephants. And then I have a tree of life, and these have been gifts that I love from my children who know me, and they love to give me little things like this. So it has additional meanings other than just something that I'm already attracted to. The baby elephants, don't know. I just have always been attracted to baby elephants from childhood. Couldn't tell you why, but it is a truth, and they love my stories, and we have a good time together chortling over baby elephants. What deck is a hug deck for you that brings comfort this year? I would say this Christ Consciousness deck. It's been a deck that I will go to when I feel like I just need that comfort. And it's not so much about the Jesus figure, it's the Christ consciousness that is what really attracts me. I love the Holy Spirit, and so the Christ consciousness and the Holy Spirit just to me is a natural for guidance with my life. So I always love using this deck. It's got some great cards in it that bring me a great deal of comfort. I will say that. Do I have a soul deck? Do you have a soul deck, and what would it be? That was a hard one for me to figure out, a soul deck. What I did decide to showcase is the Wisdom of the Oracle. This is the pocket edition. I happen to have a larger edition, but when I'm using this deck, I'm kind of gravitating to the smaller one because I'm usually overlaying it on top of other cards. So if I'm doing a tarot reading and I'm wanting to expand upon it, I will go into Wisdom of the Oracle and add it to the cards. So even though we are doing cards this way and throughout the whole board, we also can have the cards laying on top of each other, which then also tells a story. Can I get over here? It can also tell a story from the cards that are on top of each other. So many times I'll see a card that is the first card, and let's say it's a downer card. Let's say it's like, oh, that's kind of a grim one, or it's a little darker than you might want to think about at the time. But then we lay another card on top of that, and it brightens it up. It can be opposite as well, but it can kind of give you some balance where it'll say, you know how life is duality. So you're going to have sometimes those dark or lower days, and you're going to have those higher, brighter days. And the two of them together give you a balance that just speaks volumes. So it's not just the layout, it's an additional layer or two that will give you even more of a trajectory of what's going on in this message and why you're seeing it the way you're seeing it right now, how the cards are laying out. It's a fascinating study. I'm just enjoying so much. Besides the cards, what other divination tools do you use? Well, I have to say, Soul Life Treasure Hunt, this board was something that I had prayed for, and I could not understand how to navigate life. And I got real excited about any kind of decks that were coming out. Colette Baron Reed had the map, and I thought that one's going to be it. It wasn't what I had envisioned as needing for my life. It's a great deck. Got to tell you, it's a great deck. But when I did this deck, and I don't have it with me, but what I actually did was I did some different ways to play with it because I couldn't figure out how to use this board entirely. I knew I had elements of our body and our emotions, our relationships, and our material stuff, and the grand overview. I've got a heart of the matter here that is really central. So your heart is central. Your arms will be your flows of the past and the present, the past, the present, the future. So you'll be flowing with that, even though you're wanting to keep yourself aligned, if that makes sense. That finally gave me the way to guide my life with my inner guidance. And so this board is so incredibly helpful. You're going to see gemstones over here. They're representative of the chakras. And each of these little squares, they are aspects of their realms. And so there's that. And you can, anyway, when I look at this board, I see Tree of Life. I see tarot layouts and oracle card layouts and the gemstones. But anyway, when I was first doing that, I didn't do cards. I was doing gemstones and trying to see what it would take to get my life to really present itself in the highest vibe of making that heart center really zing. It was very challenging to explain to others, and it made sense to me. But when I came across how to use cards and just use the cards with this system, it's really great. When I've done readings for other people, they can see it. It's been wonderful. And it really lays out beautifully, and it gives you that ability to see your pathways, what you need to be compassionate about, what you need to be strong in, where you're going, what is the highest ideal and purpose of this situation that you're in. What can you do to balance yourself better so that this can all flow more easily? What's a little out of whack? What's really going well? You have so many ways to see yourself, be encouraged, and get the ahas that, okay, well, if that's what this is about, the situation, I can do that. That's confidence. That's the ability to make more of a decision to follow the path or to change the path if that's what you need to do, because the direction you're going is just not going to be in line with what is in your highest and best interest. And so it's been fun, and I've had this thing for years, and it never fails me. I always see the answers ultimately in these readings. Oh, I also use pendulums. I use dice. Yeah, I've got pendulums and dice. And I've used Lenormand cards. It's a card, but I Ching. I love I Ching. I do tuning forks, sound healings. I love. And color is interesting. I'm not really that strong in color yet, but I'm finding that colors really are powerful. And that's another reason why I just love tarot or oracle cards, because they'll bring all of it together in so many ways. The shamanic stuff that I've got here, I've got card decks, so many for crystals and shamanism and sacred traveling and classic arts, and oh my goodness, there's just so many different ones that we can pull from. And I try to bring them out from time to time as I'm adding more to the readings, especially when I do expanded readings. I really bring out a lot of the various oracle cards. They can be tarot decks, they can be mindfulness cards. Sometimes I'll bring out books and we'll just do books. I remember just flipping through a Bible and just closing my eyes and go right there. And that's the verse I would read. So it's a similar idea, but pulling little messages that I like, fortune cookies out of a bag, the little messages. I made a set of those for my Soul Life Treasure Hunt. So I would pull those out. If you land on a space, you pull a reading and it ties in. It's amazing. It gives you some ideas of where you want to go. So those are ways that I have played, and they're not the only ways, but it gives you an idea. Who are some of my favorite YouTubers to watch? I would definitely say Tarot Logic, Dove and Serpent Tarot. Paul over there, he has a number of various channels that he works on, and they really help me so much. And I really go back to him nowadays a lot more than I do most of the others. But I am going to say Intuitive Whispers, she would be a good one to check into if you're interested in true crime. I guess she does those. Go her. Amanda Ellis, she's another one that I will a lot of times follow. Don't always agree with her, and she wouldn't always agree with me, but it's interesting because she will do news of a current event that's particularly global. Sometimes she'll look at the U.S. if we're doing elections or other world type meetings and things that are in the news a lot. And then she also will channel with celebrities that have passed on particularly, and she'll do readings that will help you understand where maybe the royal family is going toward, or she's really interesting. Like I said, I wouldn't always recommend her for accuracy, because you have your own opinions and your own ideas. And I know she tries really hard not to be opinionated, but I've kind of caught on to some of the things I'm going, she's going to have her opinions. And that must mean I also have my opinions, even though I want to be kind of in that balanced viewpoint. I'll bet you we all do that to ourselves and to others. It's not going to be easy to hide your particular sway on a certain topic. And so it will come forward, and that's okay. So if you do follow any of these people, just enjoy them, because they're God's children. We are all God's children. I love that about all of us. Whatever that's worth, that's what I'm learning even more as I've been scouting around. But there are many others that I do follow from time to time. A great tarot book that I have read, as we've talked about, the Thoth Tarot deck that I found from Paul over at Dove and Serpent and Tarot Logic. What I did then is I said, okay, I need more Thoth information. Joe Monteleone. My apologies. I probably just butchered that, and not my intention. But this was a great book. It is not for the faint of heart. None of the tarot books I've ever really delved into that are in depth like this are easy to get through, and I do my best to just kind of make marks of chapters and things. And so anyway, it's got a lot of history in it, and he really goes in depth, probably more in depth than, well, for me, for sure, more in depth than sometimes I can handle. But his genius is impeccable, and I learned so much from it. So I come back to this at times when I got more time to really delve in and I'm able to think about whatever specific card he really is bringing more depth and knowledge into, I will find that many times a certain card will really speak to me and I will have to do my own research. This is a great resource for me. And I have others around here, but this is the most recent. And because he is more about Thoth Tarot, I have found it just expands me as I go on my own journey. Pull a card from a deck you haven't used in a while and see what message it has for you. Very good. Well, this is a deck I have not pulled out in quite some time. It's a fun one, though. It's the Chakra Wisdom Tarot deck by Tori Hartman. And I do love it. It's beautiful. I tend to find myself more interested in the modern tarot decks. I like color. I like other artists' images. And so to me, this is Rider-Waite-Smith based. And she does a great job going through the chakras with this deck. And it's laid out very differently from what you would normally see of decks, because when she's looking at them, she'll look at the collection of all the eight. So the cups, the coins, the wands, the swords. And she will go through that and she colors them in chakra colors. And you'll see that with others, but she does it in the majors as well. Major Arcana, level 2 living. So she will have the various cards that she's saying are in that collection, that category. And then she's got the chakra messages and stuff for each card. It was very different from anything I'd seen previously. I have some angel tarot decks. Those are fun. But this one I think is really unique. And let's see what that one just shot right out and said, pick me, pick me. And it came out with more than one. 9 of Cups and 8 of Wands. So let's see. 9 of Cups, orange chakra, very creative, very resourceful and sensual, and it's in that joy of who we are, that self-will. The wands, again, part of that will and that fiery nature when you're inspired. And the 8 of Wands, to me, in even the Rider-Waite-Smith, just kind of speaks to things are coming in pretty darn fast. So there's a great deal of joy and things are really lining up. So let's see what she's got to say here. As I said, 9 of Cups is going to be a real interesting Okay, here's the 9s. And the 9 of Cups is the card of the fulfilled wish. So she's really fulfilled. I'll put this together for you. When you look at this card, she is living the luxury of emotional fulfillment. So it's like it's all come together. It's not quite a 10, but it is really good. And from here, she casts her eyes upon her next adventure. This is not a card of stalling out. It is one of enjoying the moment and knowing that she has manifested her desires. So there's a chakra message, keywords, reverse meanings, meditation, contemplation I won't go into. But essentially what I love about this card is there's a little more to go yet. She can go full on to the next up leveling of a 10, knowing that she's reached a completion point and starting a whole nother round of more emotional journeying through all of the other chakras and the cards that will come up. But this is just saying that her basic nature of what she's doing here on Earth, it's pretty emotionally satisfying. She feels the ability to be creative. She's got the resources she needs. And her cups are basically pretty much full. The Eight of Wands is a beautiful card, and let's take a look at what that one is talking about. The Eight of Wands is the card of new adventure. Perfect. You remember she was the Nine of Cups. She's looking for the next adventure to get her to the Ten of Cups, so it's even better than what it already is. It's already amazing. Well, she's ready to get on to the next adventure, so let's bring it on. Let's get going. And this is the wand. The wands light the way, even if the destination is not yet clear. If spirit lies on the road ahead, are you ready for your next adventure? So that's a great reading for all of us. I like this. This would be hand in hand, the reading for us. New adventures, new beginnings of, it's not so much a new beginning. It's just that you've gotten to this point. So let's continue the fun, and let's continue making the most of an amazing, abundant moment of great joy. The abundance that you're feeling emotionally in the Nine of Cups and the adventurous sense you have means let's do it again. Let's get up leveled and see what the next level is all about. We know that we'll end up going to a next new beginning, and we're not afraid of that. I don't see any fear in these. The reds and the oranges, they could be on some level be somewhat fearful if they were different numbers, numerology-wise. But these cards are saying you got the power, you got the confidence, and it's all lining up for you. So let's get going. All right, I'm ready. Let's get going. One of the things that, the last thing that she said is, what were or some goals for your channel moving forward in 2026? Well, obviously, when you're in the YouTube world, growing is a huge part of why you're here. It's also been a real eye-opener for me as a personal soul, growing and learning how to get up to speed again. Remember, I talked about having taken a year off. What a difference a year made in the AI and the use of how that technology has expanded the expectations of the YouTube world. I'm looking at what I used to do and how much more I can get done with AI prompts and what all. And that takes some learning to do as well. But it's been a real about face for myself, because as I said, I took a break knowing that it just never was going to go away. I thought, if I walked away, then maybe it would be, well, that was an interesting experience. But every time I would think about, what do I want to do? Where am I going? What's going on? I really feel like this soul life treasure hunt system is a soul of its own. So even though it came to me from deep prayer, it also is one that has its own path, and I get to be its keeper and share it with you and explain it to the best of my abilities and to grow with it and to learn more. So for me, YouTube is very helpful in that I can find my own voice here. It's great for practicing and seeing what I can learn next. It's always on that leading edge of the ideas of what's new. AI is a new one. The algorithms are changing the direction of YouTube itself and other social platforms, and you're going to be growing no matter what you do. You could be an artist, you could be a writer, you could be in any other industry, and you would still be dealing with the same kinds of questions of what does it take to really get this thing zinging. Remember, we were talking about the cups, the Nine of Cups. I mean, I feel like I've got Nine of Cups, but there's that elusive extra cup that it's like, well, why isn't it here yet? And it makes you ponder and question, well, why you may not need it, but do you want it? Well, the other card said, Eight of Wands says, it's an adventure. So everything's lining up. If it's not there yet, that's okay. Just keep after it. Just keep going and be guided. And it will come together, and it's going to fall in place when it's the time for it to do so. Anyway, I am so excited that I got to do this. Thank you again. Intuitive Whisperers, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Amy Briggs, thank you so much. I'm an avid follower now because this has been a joy and quite eye-opening. And I cannot wait to see what the others have to say because yours was fantastic. I will leave a link below. Don't forget, we have the membership, and I will add even more to all of this in the membership for you as an expanded reading that you can follow along, and we can do some more discussion over there as well. In the meantime, comment, like, share below, and we can do some discussing here as well. Take good care, and thanks again.